Hey PlayStation Universe, thanks for tuning in for another one of our E3 2016 coverage videos. Today we're going to talk about Gravity Rush 2, a sequel to, of course, Gravity Rush on PlayStation Vita, one of its console's launch titles, yes? Was it day one? Or was it a little delayed?
Really early.
Adam says day one, so there we go. So Gravity Rush, of course, stars Kat, and Kat kind of became a somewhat iconic PlayStation character because of that game's cool anime visual style.
She showed up at E3 this year.
She did. She was at E3, along with Jack or Daxter or Ratchet or Clank. Miller Report.
Yeah.
All right, so Gravity Rush 2, you went hands-on, you played it, and you did play the original, yes. Spent some good time with that. So where does Gravity Rush 2 stand for you? How does it strike you after some
Better
time
than
with
the
it?
first.
All right, all right, good to hear.
Definitely good. Yeah.
So what about it? Is it bigger in scope, new action?
I have no idea what the scope is, honestly. The environments seem roughly the same. Well, the Gravity Rush, the first one, the environments were pretty big.
Yeah,
just because you had to fly around.
They needed to be that big, right?
So it was basically the same type of thing where this one, I think you press R1, you'll like kind of rise up off the ground, and then you take a direction, you press R1 again or something, and then you'll start flying towards that direction.
So some of those fundamentals are the same.
Yeah, everything's the same. It's a little tighter to control, and it seems like they made it slightly. They had some slight auto lock on to make it easier for hitting enemies.
Sure.
Just enough to where it's not super frustrating like it could get in the first one. The biggest change in this one was she has new outfits that you can swap between by just like swiping up or down on the D-pad or on the touchpad
in real time.
Yeah, you just swipe out and then swipe up. She'll do lunar, which she floats a little bit more, and then that does a thing where if you do a dive kick towards an enemy, you just rapidly press square, and she'll do that up to 3 times. So small enemies, you lock on, hit them once, and then just like follow up with 2-3 hits on that, and they'll be dead.
Yeah,
instead of just like hitting, repositioning out, trying to re-angle yourself, look down, dive in, hit again, go back out. So it's like it just makes it removes a lot of the fat of the first one in the combat.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And the Jupiter is the other one that you swipe down, and they'll basically give her like big, heavy like boots, like metal boots and like legging armor type.
I was wondering where you're going with big, heavy. I was like biceps, legs, like Chun-Li thighs.
I was gonna say,
like, what are we doing?
I was gonna say gauntlets, and I was like, that's not what they are. But yeah, so she basically adds a lot of weight to her attack so that you'll charge up. You get up above like a group of enemies, and you hold square, and she'll charge up the camera, pull really far in, and then she'll just go flying down and slam into the ground, and this creates this giant AoE effect that just wipes out all of the enemies within a certain area, small enemies. So
how does it strike you visually? I mean, that was obviously something people loved about the original, and now we're on new hardware.
Yeah, it looked great, but there were some really nasty frame rate drops.
Oh, really?
It just was really bad at times.
Kind of interesting, given that people never associate that with this kind of visual style. We always think the more photorealistic you get, the more in danger.
Well, yeah, part of it they have a lot of it in. You can also, I think, hold circle, and then you'll be able to pick up objects in the world with your gravity field. So all of these objects that you see around you are real interactable objects. So that'll take a toll on it for sure. But obviously we know that games can handle that because
they have before.
So it's just is an interesting thing. Yeah, but there were times where it really just was like it just kind of stopped for a few seconds. It's kind of like chugged, and then it came back and it was fine. But I love the art style in this again. Like they did a really good job, and we're very true to the previous one. The cutscenes were like comics that were in like motion comics type of thing.
So we're still doing that from the Vita version.
And I really like that. I think that's a really good way to do it.
What I kind of like is that by sticking with that, it retains sort of the artistic vision of Gravity Rush. I mean, of course,
good continuity.
Yeah, and you could argue that the motion comics were because of Vita's limitations, but to just say, okay, now that's a standard element of Gravity Rush.
I don't think it was an argument. I think it just was. I think that's pretty safe to say.
For sure.
But it's...
Do we have any indication of when it's coming out, or are they not saying
They didn't have any information at the booth when I was there, but...
Sure.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and part of it was that frustrated me about the first one was that I wanted to know more about the world, because the world was really cool and interestingly set up, and then it just ended right before it got this really cool moment. And the other thing that I mentioned before it's over is that you've seen in the trailers or on the box art and all this stuff is that Raven, who's another girl in the world that can control gravity in the same way, is back in this, and she teams up with you a lot. Like part of the demo, you fight a boss at the end of it, and she joins in with you, and there'll be moments like in a trailer you've seen before where if you have like the Jupiter equipment on, and you charge her for attack, she'll just kind of come flying in, and both of you will be on both sides of the screens charging up and just go barreling in towards somebody and just hit them. And,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there's some AI interaction.
And there's I don't remember if the first one had it, but this one there are like finishing moves too. If you finish an enemy or do a bunch of damage to an enemy, there'll be this little thing saying like get in front of them and then press the D-pad or whatever, and then this like somewhat cinematic attack will play out to finish off a boss or something like that.
So all things considered, it seems like combat is made more dynamic this time around.
Yes.
And then in terms of the lore of the world, I feel like this being designed from the ground up for PlayStation 4, there's all the chance in the world that there's development space to really explore Kat's background and a story that's at least engaging and tells you something about the world.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as they fix the frame rate. That's pretty much the only issue so far.
Thankfully, they've got time.
Yeah.
More time than Final Fantasy has. Thanks for watching this video. Our Will's reactions to Gravity Rush 2. Let us know in the comments if you're excited for Kat's next adventure, if you enjoyed Gravity Rush, and what problems you would most like them to fix moving into the sequel. And keep it locked at PSU.com for more of our E3 2016 coverage.